Spinal cord. I will be discussing about spinal cord in a very brief way, which is required for the first year BAMS students. Coming to the introduction of the spinal cord, it's a long cylindrical lowest part of the CNS. So here the CNS refers to the central nervous system. So the central nervous system is a major anatomical division of the nervous system, which is comprises of brain and spinal cord. The spinal cord occupies the upper two-thirds of the vertebral column. Even though the spinal cord is considered to be located inside the vertebral column, it doesn't occupy the complete extent of the vertebral column. It occupies only the upper two-thirds of the vertebral column. There are 31 pairs of spinal nerves. So this number you need to remember very essentially here, because most frequently asked question in Viva: how many spinal nerves and how many cranial nerves? So 31 pairs of spinal nerves is the answer for that. Okay, and 12 pairs of cranial nerves, of course. The length of the spinal cord is 18 inches or 45 centimeters approximately. 18 inches or 45 centimeters. Extent of spinal cord, meaning from where to where it is extending. This particular landmarks will not change. Okay, upper border of the C1 vertebra is the beginning point, and the lower border of L1 vertebra or the upper border of L2 vertebra. So here the upper border or the lower border is corresponding to the bodies of the vertebrae. So here you can see this is a posterior view. So this is the spinal cord in the middle, inside the vertebral column. Of course, the lamina of all the vertebra have been removed along with the spine. Okay, so you can see here this is the upper border of the C1 vertebra here. This is the first cervical vertebra here. Okay, so the upper border of the C1 vertebra is the starting point. Okay, and the lower border of the L1 or the upper border of the L2 vertebra. Here is the L2 vertebra. Okay, upper border of the L2 vertebra. It is continuous above with the medulla oblongata, or you can say the spinal cord is the continuation below of the medulla oblongata. It terminates inferiorly by a particular shape which is called as conus medullaris. We will come to that later. What is conus medullaris is. Okay, and the apex of the conus medullaris, there is a thin filament called as filum terminale. Filum terminale. Remember one thing: the filum terminale is nothing but the elongation or the projection of the pia mater itself. Pia mater is one among the layer of meninges, the covering of the nervous system. So here you can see this particular conical shape or conical ending part of the spinal cord is known as conus medullaris. So from this particular end of the conus medullaris, a thin filament of the pia mater is moving straight downwards till the tip of the coccyx. This is called as filum terminale. Filum terminale. I'll show the better pictures later, don't worry. So coming to the meningeal coverings of the spinal cord, similar to the the brain, here also we have three-layered meningeal structures. That is the outer dura mater, middle arachnoid mater, and inner pia mater. There is a subarachnoid space where the CSF is being circulated here, similar to that of the brain. Below the level of conus medullaris, there is only pia mater. Pia mater continues below as filum terminale. So here you can see the meningeal structures. This is the spinal cord here, and this is the spinal nerves coming out on both sides. Okay, so this is the outer dura mater, then the inner arachnoid mater, which is transparent somewhat. Okay, and the pia mater, once again it's the microscopic covering, a thin layer. You can see this thin layer surrounding the spinal cord is the pia mater, which is entering inside the sulci of the pia mater also. So this is a lateral view of the spinal cord. Here I can see the lumbar first vertebra and the lumbar second vertebra. So here if we draw a line, here we can see that there is the you can see this is the upper border of the L2 and this is the lower border of the L1. So almost both will coincide at the same plane. Okay, so this is the lower end of the spinal cord. Okay, so this particular conical shape is known as conus medullaris. Okay, conus medullaris. This particular conical shape is known as conus medullaris. And here you can see a thin filament of pia mater being extended below downwards. It's called as the filum terminale. Filum terminale. Filum terminale is around 20 centimeters in length. Okay, it's very thin fibrous cord of pia mater, extending from the tip of the conus medullaris to the first coccygeal vertebra. Extending from the tip of the conus medullaris to the first coccygeal vertebra. Here you can see this is the tip of the conus medullaris, filum terminale. So here you can see it's a dura mater, it's the arachnoid mater. In between there is a space. Okay, and here also arachnoid mater, and then the pia mater. In between there is subarachnoid space. Okay, and here you can see the filum terminale below the level of L1 vertebra, or below the level of L2 vertebra also you can consider. The space between the vertebral body and the dura mater is known as epidural space. Epidural space. And the space between the dura mater and the arachnoid mater is known as subdural space. Subdural space. And deep inside we have the subarachnoid space where the CSF is being circulated. You can see in the epidural or the extradural space there will be veins as well as the fatty tissue being accumulated here. Coming to the cauda equina. Cauda equina is a specific term related with the spinal cord alone. The dura and the arachnoid mater extend up to the second sacral vertebra. Beyond this level of second sacral vertebra, there won't be any dura and the arachnoid matter will be seen. So the cauda equina is the spinal nerve roots which are inside the subarachnoid space between the first lumbar vertebra to the second sacral vertebra. So it's a tuft of only nerve fibers inside the vertebral column, which looks like a tail of the horse. That's why it is known as cauda equina. So usually in lumbar puncture, you might have heard in performing some of the abdominal or the pelvic surgeries, they usually go for lumbar anesthesia. It is called as, the procedure is known as lumbar puncture. It is usually done below the level of second lumbar vertebra. Why? Because the nerves which are present in that particular space are controlling the organs of the pelvic and the skin of the pelvic region. So you can see here, so this is the end of the conus medullaris, or the end of the spinal cord. So below that we have only the tuft of nerve fibers, okay, spinal nerves. These are together known as cauda equina. Cauda equina. There are enlargements present in the spinal cord. There are two fusiform enlargements. One is at the cervical level, other one is at the lumbosacral level. The cervical level is extending from C4 to T2 segments. Remember, these segments are not corresponding to the vertebra. Here the C4 segment means the part of the spinal cord which is responsible for the arousal of C4 spinal nerve or the fourth cervical spinal nerve. So that is called as segment. So from C4 to T2 segments, we can see an enlargement. Similarly, we have another enlargement, that is from the L2 to S3 segment. You can see here, this is the enlargement here, and here also you can see there is an enlargement in this area, C4 to T2 segments. These enlargements are because of the presence of more number of motor neurons which are supplying to the limbs.